Let's lead. Let's ride. Unified leadership. Light the flame, turn it up loud. Remember the name. Leadership. Power and pride. We don't just talk, we testify. Heart and grind, purpose and rhythm, perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy, croppers and rhythm, purpose and rhythm, perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy, crowd on sway. Coach Clay, truth and play. Sifu Rafael, calm control, leaders in sync. Hearts of gold, focus sharp, the mission clear. Every step forward, silence the fear. Discipline, dripping, confidence, how we move together, we amplify. Who we are, unified. What we lead, unified. Stand tall, unified. Every time, unified leadership. Raise that bar, leaders in rhythm, born to spar. Raise that bar, leaders in rhythm, born to spar. Steady and true, the sound of the few that follow new. Strong alive, this is the beat where leaders thrive. Unified leadership.
T.O, good morning.
Good morning, Sifu. How you doing this morning, bro? It's good to see you, man.
I got to tell you, I am exceptional and I'm getting better every day. And I'm even better today because I'm here with you, my friend.
Oh, man. Hey, I'm going to steal that line, man. I'm exceptional and I'm doing well. It just sounds so warming and it sounds so inviting, bro. And you know, vice versa, bro. Anytime, man, I could be in any space with you. You know, I'm ecstatic, bro. Like it's I love you, man. It just off the top, you know, 8:32 a.m., 28 November 2025, day after Thanksgiving. I'm thankful, brother. You know, anytime that I could be with you and man, today's special, bro. Today's very special.
It is. So you and I, we curated this whole thing because we kept meeting each other and we kept being in the same rooms. And you came to the New York City experience, and every time you're like, dude, this is it. We need to stick this out. When we said we need to do something together, and we came up, we put the song together, we put everything together,
right?
And unified was the word. Unified because we are both leaders and we unified in order to bring something special to everyone. But the cool thing is that it's today is not just you and me. We brought two heavy hitters with us.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and bring them on.
Yes. Bring them on in, bro. Heavyweights.
Heavyweights. Coach Rob Lidl and Jose Escobar. Good morning. Welcome to Unified Leadership.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Buenos dias. How are you?
Bonjour. Bonjour. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Yes. Que pasa? You know what I'm saying?
Top of the morning to you. Konnichiwa. Kanyan Saksabay. Annyeonghaseyo.
Grand risings.
Yes.
Keep going. I'm just listening, enjoying the moment.
Peace. Yes.
Peace.
Yes. I love peace, man. There's something about peace, gentlemen, that it warms my heart because the first time I heard peace, positive energy always creates elevation. The first time I heard that, man, I was like, man, positive energy always creates elevation and getting right into it, you know, in the unified perspective. When we loaded up the car 2 days ago, Wednesday, to drive down here to the Low Country, Savannah, Georgia area. Shout out to the Low Country out here. My two boys were in the car going at it, Jose Escobar. They was in the back. The car's in the garage. They're in the back seat. They're going at it. And I walked out there. I said, hey, how about have some peace, gentlemen? How about just have some peace? Can we have some peace? You know, we got a 4-hour drive, man. Positive energy always creates. And they both at the same time said, elevation. I said, so let's elevate. And man, it changed the whole trajectory of the trip, bro.
Wow.
Peaceful all the way down. So special.
So we thought that the first show for our launch, we would do something that would spark interest for everyone to continue watching. And so we titled it Ignite Your Future with Unified Leadership. what does that mean to ignite your future? I'm going to leave it up to you guys and share some, and then I'll come back and I'll speak on it as well.
Man, ignite. First thing I think of when I see that word ignite is that internal fire, that internal desire, that internal passion, that internal, there's something more in me. And I'm not just saying me as in T.O. Clay, but just in general, it's something more in me. And I need to ignite that light within me, you know, and what I do today is going to show a month from now. I tell youth all the time, and you can jump in, Rob, because I know you deal with the youth every single day. What you do in your teens will show in your 20s. What you do in your 20s is going to show in your 30s, and so on. So very important, and I feel like that internal, it igniting, you know, for what's projected down the road. You got to do it now. Be present now. Yeah,
Absolutely. I feel the same way. Good morning, everybody. Coach Rob Lytle. Ignite your future. To me, when you ignite something, you have to initiate it. That means you have to take whatever starter you have to light the flame, to the fuse, whatever goal you're trying to achieve, whatever endeavor you're trying to pursue. So to me, when I hear ignite, it means you have to take the first step. You have to take the action. And just like Coach T.O. said, the decisions that you make right here early in your life, especially as young men and women, will definitely make or break you in the future.
Well, I guess I have to say something, right? I would say, yeah, I was going to say something along the lines of what Coach Rob said, but both of you said some amazing stuff there. I think every leader has a match, right? We all carry a match with us, and you choose what to do with that match in terms of how you light something up or how you turn something out, like destroy something. You can destroy something in a negative way, or you can light something in a positive way. But we all have that match as a leader. We decide whether we use it for good or for evil. And leadership can be taken in many different ways. But I think true leadership starts with the ignition, the ability to ignite something, not only within ourselves, because we must lead ourselves first, but we have the ability to now ignite things into other people, right? Because again, you can't pour out of an empty cup. You can't give what you don't have. So if we are ignited, only then can we ignite.
Oh, that's a bar.
Oh yeah. Coach Lito, when you said to ignite the fuse, that really is what I was thinking about, because it doesn't matter the size of the fuse. The effect afterwards is what's going to do things. It's going to blow things up. And unless somebody cuts the fuse, right? we don't want somebody cutting the fuse. So we need to light a strong enough fuse that when it gets to its destination, it does what it was supposed to do. This is why we're igniting it early on, so that we can blow up in a positive way, right? It's not about being destructive. It's about building a future that we can be proud of, something that we can leave a legacy with. And so for me, igniting your future is about every action that we take today is our tomorrow's. Because if we don't take action today and we just sit and listen, there's nothing wrong with Netflix. Obviously, they beat out Blockbuster, but we can't be Blockbuster and we can't be Netflix. We have to be something different. We can't just sit on the sidelines and watch things happen. We actually have to take the action, just like Netflix did, right? They took action. They started with sending CDs to the home. And my fiance's mom, before she passed away, I think she was the last survivor of getting CDs at home. Because I was like, she's still getting CDs? Yeah. And she was old school that way, right? But we need to ignite our future by the actions we take today.
Yeah, I would say, first of all, I need another coffee, number one. But secondly, from that, I would say I still have the turkey. Like, it has a kind of
tryptophan.
You believe how much I had to eat yesterday. But the good news is I worked out before I went to Thanksgiving. So I had a big run. I did a couple things out here. So I killed some calories and then I added on a whole bunch. So it kind of evened out a little bit. But
That's good.
anyway, we choose the atmosphere in which we live and which we create around us, right? So because both positive and negative, if ignited, can spread, right? Like a wildfire. So we have to decide what kind of atmosphere we want. Like what is the energy we're putting out into the world? Like, you know, and it starts within the home, right? All it takes is for my wife to be in a bad mood and spread it over to me and the kids, or me to be in a bad mood and be short-tempered and spread it to my wife and the children. And it becomes a domino effect of the atmosphere of the home, right? So we have to choose the atmosphere. We have to choose how our disposition is and how we're going to show up, right? And the good news is we have control over that. We don't control the circumstances. We don't control the situation, right? But we control how we react to it and how we choose to behave and how we choose to show up. So that's powerful.
I like how you added, Jose, that it's a choice, because it does start with a decision. It starts with deliberate action. So you talk about igniting your future. Any kind of endeavor that you're going to pursue that's past the present, you have to sit down and think about a plan. And I think we shortchange people a lot of times, especially as coaches. I like to insist that people write things down if they're not willing to take a pen and put things down, because what they're doing is they're creating a blueprint for the future when they're doing that. And I don't think we do a lot. We exercise that a lot as men, especially. We don't like to write things down. We kind of like just to go, maybe have a little checklist and accomplish it, but kind of putting pen to paper and writing your future out, creating a blueprint for your future. I think that's the first step to manifestation, a thought, an idea to physical reality, is putting it on paper.
Love it.
Amen to that.
Good. That's good, bro. Really good, man. I mean, if you don't write it down, unless you got the photographic, man, because I know personally, I don't have the photographic, you know, but man, by God, I like Jose just said, man, it could be a bad day, man. I could be that corporate. I could be in my feelings or dealing with whatever I'm dealing with. Sometimes, man, I'll go and I'll crack open one of those note-taking devices known as, you know, old school piece of paper written down in pencil. I'll just start reading, man, and there's so many different things that will spark certain things that could change the course of action and send me back to that same environment and look at my wife and say, hey, babe, I'm sorry. I was tripping, babe. I got a lot going on, a lot on my plate. A lot of things happening, shaking and baking and moving. So I'm sorry, baby. How can I'll make that up to you today. Would you like a Starbucks coffee? You know, and go grab a Starbucks or something. So, but man, gentlemen, unified leadership, bro. I have to say this, Coach Robbie Lytle, and Jose Escobar, man, like Sifu and I, we had Sifu, probably a good 5 or 6 names that we were toying with, and with leadership in mind, gentlemen, leadership. And at the last minute of the 9th inning, bro, two strikes, 2 outs. Collectively, somehow, Sifu and I was like, man, and Sifu finished the sentence. It was unified. And we was like, bro, that's it. Unified leadership. Because when you look across this screen right now, I see it personally, Sifu, is extraordinary. You know, Connected Leaders Academy, you know, Lytle Leadership, T.O. Clay Light Bulb Lessons in Leadership, and so many amazing things that you unify every single day, Sifu. So what's your thoughts, gentlemen, on that? It's a simple question. It's nothing high powered. But when you think of unified leadership, what do you see, gentlemen?
I can start off with it. I go back to that root word unity. What does it mean to unified? Coming from a military background, a lot of times we think that unity means uniformed, and it's not necessarily the case. Uniform means that we're going towards the same goal, but we're all looking the same way going there. Unity means we're all going towards the same goal, but we might be doing it different aspects. You might be approaching it from a leadership perspective. Somebody else might be approaching it from a financial perspective, but we're all moving towards the same goal. So what do I mean by that? I think unity is the way to go. Sometimes more. There's a time to be uniform, but a unified front is kind of a thought process, a mindset, because it's kind of like the body. You have a heart, you have a lung, you have lungs, you have different organs, but they do different things, but they're all oriented towards keeping the body functioning, keeping it moving.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if we think about a unified front, to me, it means we might all be doing different things. We might be in different places, but we're all going towards the same destination, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I love it. I would say that was powerful. The uniform piece. I think that's brilliant. That's such a brilliant concept, especially in the military. But for me, unity just means that we're all together. Team together, everybody accomplishes more, right? So, in order for leadership to be magnified, we have to be in unison in terms of the vision of where we're going, right? Vision, mission, purpose. If there's people that are going in the same direction, but they have different visions, or they're kind of like, I have this mission and my mission is different than your mission, or my purpose is very out over here and your purpose is here, then it's discombobulated, right? So everybody's kind of like the chains are not fully linked. So I think in order for leadership to be magnified at its highest potential, there has to be unity, right? We have to be in conjunction with each other and say, hey, we're locked arms. We believe the same concepts, the same principles. We have similar values. We're on a similar vision and mission and purpose. And I think only then can things be taken to a whole nother level. It doesn't mean you can't work in alignment with other people that are outside of certain things. It just means for the highest level of leadership, I think unity is required.
Indeed.
I think, yeah, and beautifully said, gentlemen. I think for me, and I like what Sybil asked, how do you get adults to work together in a unified front and stop thinking of themselves? I think we have to hit the mission, right? What is the mission? What is the goal? What do we all want to accomplish? And whether they're adults or teenagers or little kids, they will work together to accomplish a thing, right? And when we unify, it's that we all have the same mission. We all have different tasks that we have to accomplish to create one thing. As an artist, and T.O, you talked about some people have photographic memories and so forth, but we don't know what's in there until they put it out. So for me, I may have a drawing in my head, and until I throw it up on the wall or on paper, no one is going to see the beauty that I see, or the craziness that I see, or the complexity of what I see. And so therefore, I think writing things down, right? And I literally, I'm not kidding, I write things everywhere. I write it on envelopes, I write it all over, and then I take it. But what I do is afterwards, I put it into my bigger journal, which I can put, make sense of all the nonsense that I wrote down, right? And it's not because it's nonsense, it's because if somebody went through my notes, they're like, where is he thinking? What is going on? But it's about me in my own mind unifying all those thoughts together so that we can accomplish that, which is maybe I'm writing a book. Not too long ago, and I know Jose is waiting for me to write a couple of books. I wrote a kid's book the other day, and it happened in an instant. It happened in an instant where I was talking to my fiance and she said something, and that triggered a whole story in my mind. And if I didn't say it to her, she would never have known. So when I said to her, this is the story I wrote, and she starts laughing. And I said, not only is it an 18-page book for kids, I said, but it's going to teach them a valuable lesson. And she goes, holy cow, I can't believe we just had a small conversation and you came up with this whole story based on it. I said, because it made sense. And so when we can unify not only what we have inside to share it with the world, I think we can all go towards a mission of accomplishing something bigger than we can do by ourselves. And that's where I think the unified part really sets in. When T.O and I sat down, T.O, how many songs and how many hours did we spend even on just the one song that we do have? We spent some time, right?
Yes, we did. We did.
And it was like, no, I don't like this word. I don't like that word. Let's make this one different. And we changed and we worked together. We unified.
It was time well spent, gentlemen. It was. I like that. The song.
You know, we're gonna have to play it again, being that, you know, maybe somebody came in a little late. So if that's okay, you know, I'm just gonna throw it on here. Is that okay, T.O?
Absolutely, bro.
I love the song.
Absolutely.
Do it, man, please.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. First, I gotta grab it. Here we go.
Unify leadership. Let's move. Let's lead. Let's ride. Unify leadership. Light that flame. Turn it up loud. Remember the name. Unify leadership. Power and pride. We don't just talk, we testify. Unify leadership. Heart and grind. Purpose and rhythm. Perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy. Croppers and rhythm. Purpose and rhythm. Perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy. Crowd on sway. Culture clay. Truth and play. Sifu Rafael. Calm control. Leaders in sync. Hearts gold. Focus sharp. The mission clear. Every step forward. Silence the fear. Discipline dripping. Confidence. How we move together. We amplify. Who we are. Unify. What we lead. Unify. Stand tall. Unify. Every time. Unify leadership. Raise that bar. Leaders in rhythm. Born to spar. Raise that bar. Leaders in rhythm. Born to spar. Steady and true. The sound of the few that follow new. Strong alive. This is the beat where leaders thrive. Unify leadership.
Man, I gotta tell you that to me that's a hit, T.O.
It's a hit, man. It really is, bro.
I could see it winning the Grammy. I don't know. You gotta submit it.
But what I love about the video is that you're watching people unify. You're watching the guy take the cube and put things together to unify everything that's happening, right? People are laughing, they're smiling. So think about everything that happens in our lives that we can't do it alone. And that's, to me, is the truth. Right? We cannot do it alone.
And it says it in the song, you know, focus sharp, mission clear, you know, and I think that's kind of what we're talking about. Shout out to Sybil Gaines. That's my cousin who's asked the question. So tying it back into our question about how do you get adults to unify or on the same sheet of music? I think that the song pointed toward the focus. Everybody has to be focused. They have to kind of understand what the mission is and what their role is in the mission. People want to feel part of something. You know, they don't want to feel like they're sidelined, even if they're not outgoing people and they don't have a lot of charisma. They want to feel like they're part of the team. So if you can make them feel part of the team and tap into their natural talents so that they feel that they're contributing from an authentic place, I think that's the way to get adults to buy in. You know, kids, you can, you know, have a pizza party at the end of it, and that'll motivate them. Adults, it takes a little bit of more strategic messaging with them.
Well, think about Michael Jordan, right? One of the things is, besides being an incredible player, he brought the team with him. I was watching something earlier today, and they said that he was not the nicest when it came to things because he pushed, and everybody at first kind of hated him.
Yes.
But then he made sense to them, and that's why they won. And one of the times they said, why are you only bringing one uniform? We have 2 games to play. And he goes, because I'm not going to play it 2 times. I'm going to play it 1 time. We're going to win that 1 time. And so he brought the team with him, and he unified his team so that they became a great winning team. But think about, like you talked about, a team, right? Coach Lidl, you talked about a team. Not everybody on the team could be a quarterback. That would be a catastrophe. That would just be Jose, can the Commanders play with just quarterbacks?
Well, with Jaden Daniels, yes, but no, the answer is no.
Right. So everybody has to play their role. We all have a role to play in life. The problem, I believe, is that a lot of people, they try to do it all. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, but you're going to go slow. You're going to go slow. You acquire the right people to be on your team, man, you're gonna propel, you're gonna rocket forward.
Sifu, I have great points. I have actually referenced this before, I believe, on one of your podcasts. I forgot which one of your 15 that you have, or
10, just 10, man. You know,
they're all amazing. They're all great.
But there was this wonderful coach that many of you might know, Vince Lombardi.
Vince Lombardi, what it takes to be number one.
Great book, great coach, great principles in here. But
great speech.
Great speech.
Mm-hmm.
He was asked one time by a reporter, how do you keep your team winning all the time? I noticed that everybody's attitude on your team is stellar. Everybody is just fired up. Everybody supports everybody. Everybody is doing their part. Like, how do you keep your team so unified and so excited and so like trying to help each other? Like, how do you do that? What's your secret? And I'm giving you like the what is this called? Not verbatim, but essentially what he said was, he said, it's very simple. It's very simple. I just eliminate the ones who are not excited.
Ooh.
Right. So how do you keep your team so excited and fired up and all that? I just eliminate the ones who aren't. You know,
let me write that one down. Eliminate the ones that are not excited.
It is just that simple, right? It is just that simple as the elimination of people that are going to ruin the environment, right? So when it comes to leadership, we have to ask tough questions. We have to do tough things, right? Mm-hmm. Are the people around us on the team or that we're leading, are they growing because of you or in spite of you? Ooh, that's a good one. Are they growing because of you or in spite of you? Right? We have to ask ourselves these people. Do the people that we serve, the people that we lead, do they know what I expect of them, or are they guessing? Right? So as a coach, your team has to know what you expect. That excellence is a thing, and the standard is high, and this is where you need to go up, right? Or do they have to guess what that looks like, right? What's the last hard conversation that we've avoided as a leader? Oh my gosh. I mean, we can go on that all day on just like the things that we should be addressing that we tend to sweep under the rug because we hope it goes away. But can I tell you something? That lump stays there.
And it metastasizes.
Yes, it doesn't disappear. So we have to, these are things required of our leadership. And again, it's sometimes the answer to how do you rally adults to kind of, sometimes it's a very simple answer. We just don't like the answer. Just eliminate the person.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it might be you don't eliminate the person altogether. You eliminate them in that role. You might have to just reorient them to another place where they can tap into some natural talents. You know, not everybody's good at everything. So you might have, if you have your heart where your lungs are supposed to be, you got a problem. You know, you know, they're two different organs, but the same mission, but two different organs.
Yeah, it's the whole concept of making sure they're on the right seat on the bus, right? Mm-hmm. So they might just need another seat in the bus, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, we also have to understand the reality, and that is, I remember I worked for a company called EFC, Educational Funding Company, and it was a third generation company now, right? But the original founder, his name is Nick Aquino Sr., God rest his soul, but he graduated from West Point, learned all of these systems on how to operate a tuition-based company. And eventually he owned 6 Arthur Murray dance studios in Chevy Chase, Maryland. And then he eventually expanded to EFC, which is a martial arts third-party tuition billing company that ended up being a coaching company. So I was working there as their sales director, and I learned his principles. And it's been passed down for 3 generations now. And he had this card of like the 10 commandments that he created of martial arts and how to run, you know, an academy. And one of the golden rules there and I wish I had the bookmark here somewhere, but it was the idea where he said, he told one of his sons, right, at the time, who now owns the company, he said to him, listen, your job is to take the school, the students, your job is to manage all of these different martial arts schools and make sure they're running efficiently, doing all those things, right? And then one day, one of the schools had an issue, and a lot of these schools have like after school programs where, you drive kids in the bus and you kind of take them from the school to the martial arts academy and so on and so forth. Sifu, I'm sure, knows this, after school programs. And John Kirkinos at the time had to step in. He just stepped in because there was an issue with one of the school owners, whatever. So he stepped in and started driving the bus and picking up the kids and doing all these things. And Nick Okino Sr., he found out, and he got really upset. He's like, why are you driving the bus? What is going on here? And John explained, he's like, oh, well, I'm driving the bus because this and this and this, and this person couldn't do this. And I had to step in and get the job done. And he said, which is a logical answer, right? He just took the leadership and said, I'm going to figure it out and get it and make sure things get done. And he said, no. He said, no, I don't pay you to drive the bus. He said, you're not supposed to be driving the bus. You're supposed to be leading the charge on all of these different things. And your problem is not that, is what happened. Your problem is you have people on the team that get sick. He said, don't hire people, don't have people work for you that even think they can get sick. He said, it is just that simple. He's like, and at the end of the day, the bigger principle here, and there's more to it, but the bigger principle is, he said, some people, no matter what you do, just don't have that desire and a certain level of capacity to rise to a certain standard of what that is. No matter what you do. It's like trying to push a wet noodle, right? Some people need to be in the oven a little bit longer, right? In the crock pot. And that's okay. And everybody's in a different place. But sometimes we expect more from people, and we push people to a level they're not ready to be at. And that's one of the biggest problems. So don't work with the wet noodles. You just don't do it. It doesn't mean you have to not love them. You can still love them from afar. But just know that it's not your time right now to be in this circle, because this is what we're here to do. And this is the standard that we expect here.
And you have to have a high level of integrity to be honest with people to tell them that, chest to chest, kneecap to kneecap, eyeball to eyeball, not email style, because that might be the catalyst for their improvement.
Right.
A lot of times it is, because like 360 peer evals. And you know this, Robbie, from my background in the military, when that 360 peer eval gets laid on the table in front of you, and I really have to speak on a man that I love with all my heart, Robert Lytle. Robert Lytle. I noticed, Sifu, earlier you said Lytle.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lytle. Yeah. Lytle. I got it now.
Lytle.
I got it.
Yes. The light.
Lytle.
Robert Lytle. Yes, sir. But I have to say, the cons of Robbie Lytle. And I'm doing him in service, gentlemen. If I don't write down what I truly know, what I truly observe, and vice versa. Because we could say it all day. Like gentlemen, we've heard it a trillion times. Blade sharpen the blade, steel sharpen steel, iron sharpens iron. But are you really truly doing that? That's the difference between who rises to that next platform versus who doesn't. That's the difference. Like right now, the Cowboys, they're riding high. Hey, I know you down there in Dallas, Robbie Lytle. The Cowboys beat doggone the Chiefs last night.
The energy is so great. It's amazing. The energy is great down here.
But did you see the look in Patrick Mahomes' eyes, bro? With 2 minutes left in that game, when they showed his face. When I looked at him last night, TV, Thanksgiving, belly full, Sifu, I said, man, that man is a champion, bro. He's a winner. And because they lose this one little game or have a down season, it doesn't take away from what that man has already done.
Mm.
You know, and Andy Reid, staff, whoever it is, just like Jose said, they're going to fix some things, bro. They're going to make some real hard decisions. They're going to make some cuts. So Vince Lombardi, in my opinion, is the greatest pigskin coach to ever live.
Mm.
You know, shout out to Dr. Rob McClellan. You know, if you're out there and you see this, hey, I know you're a leadership junkie just like we are. Rob McClellan spent a lot of time with John C. Maxwell. You know, and when I think of Vince Lombardi, you know, John C., those are the gentlemen that we're looking at on paper, notes. How many of you got thousands of notes from just a couple of those gentlemen? You know, you speak of email, Robbie Lytle. My little caption at the bottom of my email for years was Vince Lombardi. Leaders are not born. Leaders are forged and made through real challenge, through experience. And like Jose said, bro, you don't get that if you don't just eliminate, bro. You're not moving where we need to move. And I love what our dear brother Emilio Ramon said in the chat. He said, one of the greatest pieces of leadership wisdom I've ever learned is this: I'll never play someone who can only give 10% in a role that requires 50. And I won't play someone who can give 50 in a role that requires 75. People can grow and stretch, but key roles require key capacity. That's real leadership. Shout out to Emilio, man. That's freaking real powerful right there, man.
You know, T.O., everything you're saying right now is so spot on, and huge shout out to Dr. Rob McClellan. And as a matter of fact, if you recall, T.O., you were both here on this book, Leadership, together.
That's right. That's right.
Which
Yes.
big shout out to both of you.
Yes.
And then big shout out to Emilio Ramon. Love the guy, phenomenal
Me
leader as
too.
well.
Awesome.
I can tell you, based on what you just said, it is so true, which is why I said this Vince Lombardi thing about elimination and just removing people who are not there. Because at the end of the day, like, sugar is for children. We don't need to sugarcoat anything.
Mm.
Right? It's like you're either prepared or you're not. Success is the result of opportunity and preparedness colliding, right?
Yes.
And too many of us are not prepared when the opportunity comes. And sometimes the opportunity isn't there, but you are prepared, but it will come, right? So we just have to have the ability to say, hey, you know what? I have to step up. I have to be better. I have to be at my very best. And clarity when it comes to these things is actually a kind thing. It's very kind of us to say, hey, you're just not cut out for this right now, right? Hey, you need to improve this. Hey, you got to fix this. Hey, the standard is higher, right? Confusion is actually not so kind.
Right.
Because if you don't have the clarity, then it's confusion and anything is possible. So remember that whatever our standard of excellence is, because we all have a certain standard, whatever that level is, everybody has a different standard, right? I have a high standard for my kids within reason, right? Because I still want them to be children. But I have a high standard based on the age and based on what we're doing and what they're learning and the expectations, right? But we all need to have a standard of excellence, because that standard is going to become your team or the people that you lead. It's going to become their ceiling or their floor. And you decide what that is, right? It's either going to be the ceiling or it's going to be the floor. And that is up to us to determine that. But we have to live it. We have to breathe it. We have to exude it. We have to be the one on the front lines showing what leadership is about, right? Not just saying, hey, this is what you should do. No, this is what I'm doing, what I've done, and you need to do it too. And
that is the path that most leaders aren't willing to take.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be willing to ruck up and move in the way that you're telling everybody to live. And a lot of people aren't. And it's very easy to say something or give advice but it's evident in everything that you're doing, whether or everything that you're telling somebody else to do, whether you're living that in your own personal life. And that, Sifu, I think you said it earlier, it starts in the home. It starts with the family. Like, my family is my biggest ministry. Everything that I do outside of this home is a reflection of what happens inside this home. And fortunately, I have plenty of kids to lead, so I have all within my house, a household. But needless to say, leadership by example, becoming comfortable in uncomfortable positions is extremely important, because there's going to be times where it's unpopular. And you got to be willing to stand there in the unpopular spaces and stand on your own beliefs and stand on what you're telling people to live. And you have to be able to demonstrate it by your own example at all times.
Mm.
That becomes hard because it's 24/7. You can't hide from yourself.
No, you can't. Wherever you go, there you are. I love what Jose said about sugars for kids, right? But here's the thing that I've lived my whole life based on. It's called Eat Bitter, right? And one of the principles on eating bitter is that no matter what you're going through now, don't complain. Just do it, bear it, and go forward, because eventually you're not going to be eating bitter, but sometimes you're going to have to. So you have to go through the muck. You have to go through the nonsense, and you have to weed out all the things that are not pertinent to your future, to igniting your future. So eating bitter for me has been basically my whole life. And when somebody brings something up for me that they're like, oh, you're not going to like this, I'm like, well, how do you know I'm not going to like it? I've probably already tasted it. It's just going to be another day of having the same thing I've had before. So it's not that bad. And so a lot of times, even my fiance says, you don't get angry, or you don't get sick, or you don't do this, or you don't do that. And I go, well, I've been sick. I've been angry. I said, I don't need those. Those are things that I'm not looking to do right now. Those are things that don't, I'm not in favor of, right? When I see somebody who's very angry, even if they're angry at me, I don't come back with anger. I come back to try to understand why they're angry, because it's important for me to understand them so that I can either help them or totally avoid them. Because they may be dishing out stuff that's nonsense, but if it's anything, if it's my fault, I own it 1,000%. And I rectify any mistakes I make, because there's no way I am perfect, and I make mistakes on the daily. And so for me, as a leader, as I'm training other people to become trainers, I'm training other people to become coaches, I'm helping entrepreneurs level up. It's about sharing my mistakes. Yesterday, I shared a mistake I made. My phone fell in a dumpster, and I went dumpster diving on Thanksgiving. I was the big turkey, right? But why did I post it, right? Because I think we all have to laugh at ourselves.
Yeah, man.
We have to say, hey, you know what? I'm not above anyone. If anything, I can get dirty. I can get down and dirty, and I can get in the muck again. It doesn't mean that, hey, I've been there, I can't get back in it. I'm okay to get back in it. I'm not wanting to, but if I have no choice, or if it requires me to get in the muck to help somebody, I'm getting in the muck.
Man, I love it, dog. I've been studying, gentlemen, something I'm sure you all have heard of, and it's the I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but the Pygmalion effect, or
Pygmalion effect. Pygmalion effect. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I've been studying that, man, and
that's my leadership style.
Yes, absolutely. I've been studying it deeply the last week, gentlemen. And I wanna do a live on it, man, from the perspective in which how I receive it. Because when you think of the definition of that, basically, it's people rising to how you treat them. They rise to how you treat them. And when I look back over time, and I ask myself, in that deep layer of thought, gentlemen, as a leader, I'm saying to myself, like, man, I see the fruition today as we talk about igniting the future. I see the fruition today of how I treated people as a leader. And it's not based on any accolades. It's not based on podcasts or books or being on live so everybody could eat popcorn and watch us. No, it's literally in the trenches, like you just talked about, Sifu. Those suck ass days, bro, to where somebody's got to do it. And for me, it was just, man, I have no choice, bro. I have no choice. I have to do it. So how you treat people and how they rise, to that standard that Jose just talked about, man. Either the floor or the ceiling. There's nothing in between. So uh we're gonna dive into that, moving forward, Seafood. We're definitely gonna get deep into that Pygmalion effect, man, because it's a lot to extract from that.
Mhm. I was visiting a restaurant, and I there was three brothers that owned it. One of the brothers was constantly cleaning the place, and the food amazing, an Italian restaurant. And instead of him telling somebody, "Hey, go clean that," he would just take whatever it is and he'd be cleaning it. And that was leadership at the front, because people were like, "Oh my God, he's cleaning." And yeah, he owns the place, and he's got a ton of restaurants now because of his work ethic. Because it wasn't about, I'm too big, because there's too many people out there who say, I'm not going to clean. I hire people for that, and that's okay. That's the way. But he led from a place of pride. He goes, I want my customers to come in and feel that this is the cleanest restaurant they've been at. This is the nicest place they've been at. And the place is gorgeous, right? And every restaurant he's opened since is magnificent. But it's because of that leadership style that if I'm going to do it, everybody who follows me at least has a path. They have a way to follow. Because I always tell my members or anybody who I'm training, I said, listen, if you can't follow, you'll never be a great leader, ever. The best leaders were the best followers. So learn to follow so that you can learn to lead. And when you become a leader, don't forget that you used to follow, and you can still follow, right? So,
Yeah, I think it's inherent, man. Like I told you yesterday, Seafood. I've been loving these videos you've been dropping, bro. These, especially the one where you was taking your leg and going up and over, man. Like that inspired the crap out of me. So I was like, man, I'm 49. I think I could probably still get my leg up there, maybe. But just looking at that, man, sometimes the demonstration, back in the days, we used to call it EDIP, EDIP. Explain, demonstrate, imitate,
practice.
Yes, absolutely. Practice/perform, either or, but it's actually practice. Explain it, demonstrate it, imitate it. You see it every day, Seafood, with those young, impressionable minds in there on that dojo mat that want to. They some of them don't even know what they want to do, but EDUP is taking place, and I think that's so important, man, in the leadership game. Igniting the future, moving forward. When I look at Jose, man, like straight up, dog, like Jose, bro, 28 November 2025, bro. I love you, dog. Because man, I know it takes so much to do what you do, bro. And there's people across the globe that look up to you, man, respect you, and just the way you go about it, and look behind you, bro. Like, bro, like I'm sure, Jose, you probably, if you ain't read them all, I know you've read at least 95% of them, But I just want to thank you today, bro, just for leading by example, dog. Like straight up and down, bro. Every time I'm in your presence, I try to pick your brain. I try to steal something, that you lay out there. And I love it, man. Personal development is the key. And I know you've been doing it for a long time, brother. And before we, roll out of here in 10 or so minutes, man, I thank you once again. I always tell you that. Jose, I thank you, bro, because I physically have seen you lead by example. And that's a tall task, Jose Escobar. That's a tall task, bro. And I say it, man, with every fiber of my body, bro. I've seen you lead by example at the highest level, bro. You know, starting with your family and all the way down to the last individual that you just met yesterday. So I thank you, brother. I really do, man.
First of all, I have to reply to that, and I just got to tell you, I got to tell you, you know, I receive the kind words. I think part of leadership is having the ability to say, "Hey, thank you," right? Not say, "Oh, no, that's not true." No, like, you know, it's like, "Hey, thank you. I appreciate the fact that you're saying these kind words, that I've impacted you on some level, and that that there's some level of respect and inspiration there." I think that speaks to what I'm looking to achieve. I'm looking to change lives. I'm looking to impact people on a global level, and that's really the bigger play. The bigger play is influence, right? Because leadership is influence, as John Maxwell talks about all the time. That's the bigger play here. So I have mutual admiration for you, Coach T.O. Clay, and of course Sifu Rafael. I've interacted with you guys on many levels, and your leadership is top notch and stellar. Coach Rob, you and I are getting to know each other, so I'm sure you're cut from a similar cloth, or you wouldn't be on episode 1, right? So there's a lot to be said about all these things, but I've got to say that I just have tremendous respect for you, Coach T.O. So thank you for saying that. And since we're talking about leadership, one of my final thoughts here is the fact that, and this kind of speaks to what Sifu said earlier, which was a thought that kind of triggered another thought in my mind. Is you said, you know, and all the best leaders are followers first, right? You said that, Sifu. And then you said, and then eventually you become a leader, right? And the whole becoming a leader, that you are a leader at some point. I think leadership is not a mantle where, just like an extra add-on to that, is that it's not a mantle that we arrive and we say we're a leader now. I think leadership is a journey. Right, leadership. There's always an opportunity to be a leader, even if you're not a leader per se, right? Like as in a title of like I'm a boss or a manager or a lieutenant colonel or whatever title you want to give yourself or were given. There is leadership along the way. You can be a leader that cleans restrooms, right? Not have anybody who's following you literally except the children in your home and you know that kind of a thing, right? So I think leadership influence is really built on the things like character and contribution and consistency and discipline and fortitude and perseverance and, you know, all the things that we got to do. So at the end of the day, when we look at our leadership and we look at where we are and what we're developing, even in my home, right, with my 6 kids. Now I have 6 because my one son is here from college right now. But I can tell you that it's a mirror. It's essentially a mirror because what happens is the people that you're leading, your family, it could be friends, it could be extended family, it could be your clients, it could be a team that you're running, like a sports team or in the military, you know, wherever it is, that your team is going to reflect your patience, your discipline, your level of communication, your ability to do certain things, your discipline and your focus and your work ethic. Like it's a mirror. So the most important thing to know is that we have the ability to improve that on ourselves, and only then can we show other people. And remember, a mentor of mine once said, "Jose, your actions speak so loudly, I hear not what you say." Right? I think that's one of the highest level, the essence of leadership is your actions speak louder than your words.
It's powerful. It's powerful, bro. I think you should answer this last question, Robbie Lighter, from your cousin Sybil. I think you should answer that question, brother.
See, Sybil says, people rarely speak of the decisions we have to make and living with those decisions. When do you think, when you do them for the betterment of the people? Oh, okay. Can I touch on that? Okay, I actually can touch on it. So asking, when we make decisions for the betterment of other people, for other people and living with those decisions, especially she's talking about, I believe, is the sacrifice that the leader makes, it, you know, the unsung hero kind of things. You're doing things for the betterment of other people, and then you have to live with those decisions. I think the easiest way to do it is if whatever prompted you to make that decision, if it was a righteous cause. If you're doing something that is good for the betterment of somebody else, the outcome is insignificant because the genesis of it was started from a pure place. So
That's good.
I think if you're making decisions that impact other people's lives, if they come from a good solid place and you have the experience and you're the knowledge to make those decisions and the authority to make those decisions at that particular time, you can't money more to quarterback it later on and be held so accountable for it, especially if you were doing it for a righteous cause in the beginning. If that answers your question, I might be off in left field.
No, you're good. You're good.
That was it. Yeah.
It brought me back this morning. For some reason, my body said at 2:10, get out of bed. So I listened, and I said, let me try to go back to sleep. I couldn't. So I took a shower, and I got some coffee, and I started reading Think and Grow Rich, and it was based on decisions, right? So I read the chapter on decisions, and one of the major decisions that some of our leaders, and the reason we have our freedom is because of the people who made the decision to fight the British, right? To go after them, right? Samuel Adams and all these different people who understood that their decisions may cost them their lives, but the decisions were so strong that they were willing to sacrifice for the betterment of others. And when we can listen, when you make a decision in your business, hopefully it's not a life and death decision, right? But it is for the betterment of business. It's the betterment of the people who work for you, and it's the betterment of your community or the world, wherever it is that your business is at. So every decision that we are faced with, we should put some weight behind it and don't just, half guess what the decision is going to impact the people who are going to be affected by your decision. And I think every day when we make a decision, and by the way, I'm not even going to be tired. I'll probably go to sleep tonight at 11 o'clock. And I am wound up. My decision to say, hey, you know what? I can try to stay in bed. And I did for about half hour. And I was like, you know what? This is silly. I'm not sleepy. So my body said, get up. And I got up and I showered. But it was a decision. And I'm in my facility now. But I got here at 4:30 this morning. And then I started doing some work. And then I started doing things. And until the minute that we came on, I was building and doing things. I was doing all kinds of things, but it was a decision I made because I know that every decision I make is going to impact. And every day, God has given me the opportunity to do so. So when he gives me the opportunity to get up and he says, get up, it's 2:10, you're not going to sleep anymore, you got to go do things, I'm going to listen to him, right? Because he's put it in my heart and in my mind that I have to do these things. So every day, I'm blessed. Thank you.
That just sparked and I know time's limited here, but it kind of sparked it. You're right. It's called a circadian rhythm when we get on our own natural clock and move like that. And we wake up at random times. You're right. It is God telling you that, hey, you got to get up and do something. But it also reminds me that, a lot of times leaders feel guilty because they can't touch everything. And you have to move with a sense of balance, meaning you have to take care of your own mental health. You have to take care of your own physical health so that you can continuously help others. And a lot of people in my life, sometimes you have to cut them out. We talked about cutting people off, cutting players off, or people who aren't meeting mission, the person doing 10% when they should be doing 50. Sometimes you have to cut people out of your life so that you can have that time. So you can have that mental clarity to operate and extreme balance. That's what I call it. Balance is extremely important to me. I spend a lot of time on it in my own personal life, maintaining it. And it bothers me. I used to feel very guilty because I wanted to touch everything and answer every call and be around and do everything, but you can't
No,
do
you
everything
can't.
and maintain your own personal balance. So that's the biggest advice I'd offer people out there. So you got to find out what are the important tipping points in your life and you remember that you are the fulcrum. You are where everything stays balanced on. So you can't be far left, far right. You kind of have to stay centered. And doing that, you have to limit. People have limited access to me. You know what I mean? Like I can't, like you can't just call me up on the phone and because I'm out here working constantly. I know what I'm doing. I know what God's put in my heart. I know what mission I have, and I know what I need to do to get there. So I surround myself with other great people, and I try to accomplish things through other people to help ease that guilt, because I do like to be out there trying to do a lot of stuff, but you can't do it all. So you have to maintain your balance. Leaders who are out there feeling like they're unstable, or they're feeling like they can't touch everything. It's okay. You can't. You have to surround yourself with a team that can touch it with you.
Only
Listen,
touch that which will affect a bigger change. Go ahead, Jose.
sorry, I got to go. I have a call a minute ago, but I got to say this very quickly. First of all, I greatly appreciate having the honor to be here on this episode 1. You guys are all stellar, true leadership here. I'm in like this little corner, and I see these tremendous leaders around me, and that's how we grow, right? We got to be around others that are amazing, that are changing the world, right? And iron sharpens iron, and that's what it's about. You got to be in rooms that stretch you, even virtual rooms like this. So I'm excited that I was able to be here. Quite the honor and an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to be tuning into this show, both live and in the replays. Coach T.O, Sifu Rafael, much respect and kudos to you guys for what you're doing. Leadership is such a powerful topic that is not discussed the way it needs to be discussed. And I couldn't think of 2 better people to talk about it than you guys, because you're both tremendous leaders. So I will just end with this. Again, Jose Escobar, founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. If anybody wants to connect with me, just check out my website, www.connectedleadersacademy.com. That's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. I'm happy to connect with you over a virtual coffee and explore any potential win-win opportunities, is what I like to call it, right? Win-win opportunities. So anyway, with that being said, I guess my final thought in 10 seconds on leadership is not about being in charge, folks. Leadership is a high mantle responsibility, and it starts with you. You got to lead yourself at the highest level, and only then can you lead others. Right? Start, if you want to change your life, if you want to like go to a whole other level personally and professionally, it all starts with leadership. So step up your leadership game. God bless. Thank you.
God bless. Thank you, Jose. Appreciate you. I just want to remind everybody that this show, first one today, we're going to be on every Friday at 8:30 a.m. The next one is next Friday, and it's also Friday when we're starting our New York City experience, right? So I don't know where Coach T.O is going to be. He may be here in the space with me. I'm not sure. We'll make that work out, right?
Yes.
But here's the thing. Just so everybody gets an idea, Coach T.O and I decided that every 4th Friday, or the last Friday of the month, we're going to have guests. And the other 3 shows is just going to be Coach T.O and myself, and bringing you leadership ideas and concepts to help and guide you. So do me a favor. If you don't have a clean piece of paper, make sure that you get one for the next one, because we are going to continue to elevate this show. And I gotta be so grateful to you, Coach Rob, for being here with us, and Jose for helping us lead this off. And for everybody who chimed in and said hi, just remember you have a place that you can come and learn more about leadership with Coach T.O and myself. Coach T.O, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you once again, man. To you, brother Sifu. You see the vision. You're a phenomenal leader. You're a master of your craft, and I love you, bro. Like I said, starting off, I love you.
Love you
I
right
love
back,
you, man.
man.
And
Big
I just
hugs.
thank you, man. Yes, and sometimes, as Jose just stated, man, you know, we need that growth, man. We need that push. We need that shake up to get out of the comfort you know, and stretch it even further, man. It's our duty. It's our chosen place, man. So I thank you. And Rob Lytle, man, like, man, bro, like you know what you mean to me, you know, and the gentleman that just popped in the chat, Evans Janvier, you know what you mean to Evans Janvier.
My
You know
man.
what you mean to so many people. And I appreciate you, bro, for being here with us on this inaugural, you know, unified front, bro. Your perspective is very powerful and it means a lot to me. And I watch you, I emulate you, I strive to, you know, try to walk in your footsteps, man. And as we close out, when I look back there behind you, time, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's something that was born out of your spirit, out of your heart. And you know, the time is now, brother, and I just appreciate you. You know, I know it's a little bit early out there in Dallas than Sifu and I on the East Coast. But hey, man, you're here with us, and it definitely won't be the last time we'll be bringing you back on to get your perspective, bro. So thank you all out there for rocking with us today. Enjoy your weekend, and we're gonna keep going higher, man. We're gonna take it to the next level.
Man.
So
I want to thank you, Coach T.O, for introducing me to Coach Lytle, because he came on Heroes Rising the first time, and it was incredible. And this is the second time he's on the show with us. So super excited to get to know you. And I don't know, I don't think we invited you to New York City Experience, but it is happening next weekend if you're interested. I don't know if you can make it all the way out here, but if not, there'll be other ones, right? We're going to be in Tampa in February, and then we're going to be in Ireland, and then we're probably going to do something in Atlanta. So Coach T.O is going to be hosting for us over there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go to Dallas. We're going to go everywhere.
Man.
So
It's amazing. It is amazing to share time and space with you gentlemen this morning. You're doing a lot for the craft, in which I love, and that's leadership. You know, I believe that starts with self, like we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this time with you, and any other future opportunities that we have a chance to talk about this untalked about, not enough topic.
absolutely.
Not,
It's a fact, bro. It's a fact.
Right.
Unified leadership, man. Let
Unified
that joint ride one more time. Let it ride us up out of here, Sifu.
Here we go. All right, everybody. God bless.
God bless.
Happy Friday. Do yourself a favor.
Love you, Sybil.
Hug somebody. Hug somebody today.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Take care, everyone.
All right, JV.
Unified leadership. Let's move. Let's lead. Let's ride. Unified leadership. Like the flame. Turn it up loud. Remember the name.